Hello everybody, my name is Trikopani and here is Shinjuku Station, as known as the dungeon, a nightmare of Tokyo traveler. If you plan to visit Tokyo, maybe you have many worries. Where to stay, transport, season, where should I visit or where should I avoid? This video is for you, essential tips to travel Tokyo. Yes, it's time to discover Tokyo one step more.
Tokyo has humid temperature climate like Sydney or Washington DC. Here are some tips to keep in mind while traveling. In the city center, you can actually wander around freely. Of course, it's better if it's sunny, but Tokyo has a variety of signs and colors. Even if it's a little cloudy and raining, it still has a different feel. But from March to September, there's a 50 chance of clouds. In the summer, during the rainy season, it goes up to 73%. What I'm saying is, don't expect too much about the daytime views from the observatory, especially Shibuya Sky. I think its view is frankly so-so. But the open-air space makes this observatory so famous. I'm not saying to don't go, I'm just saying don't get your hopes up. Of course, a cloudy, artificially lit night is always a treat, as long as it's not too foggy. The same goes for places like Kawaguchiko and Enoshima, where you can see Mount Fuji. You have to be pretty lucky here in the winter too. In the summer, the odds are really stacked against you, even more than Shibuya Sky. I'd also avoid Disneyland in the middle of summer. It's too hot. You're outside for a long time, and if it rains, you're screwed. What you shouldn't expect when you go in winter are parks where greenery is important. Ueno Park, the Imperial Palace, Shinjuku-gyoen, Inokashira Park. I won't discourage you from going, but you will be a little disappointed by the lack of greens. Ueno Park has museums, and the Imperial Palace has some classic architectures. Also, you can see the Marunouchi Otemachi building forest, so there still are contents. But Shinjuku-gyoen and Inokashira are really skinny. However, the city's illuminations are beautiful in winter, so you can be satisfied with that. Other than that, the cherry blossom season is in March and April. So, short summary, late May and October are the universal best times. The parks are green, it's not too hot, it doesn't rain too much. Every destination has a different way to it. Some places are worth a full day to explore, while others can be done in half a day. And when you put different size stone to a jar, you put the bigger ones in first and the smaller ones later. Same goes for travel. When you plan for your itinerary, you put the big chunks first, and that fit in the smaller pieces accordingly. The first tier neighborhoods are Ginza, Shibuya, and Ueno. This can be a main part of your day, and there's a lot to do there. It's also a unique position in Japan beyond Tokyo. I've never traveled to Tokyo before, you can start from here. This is where you find Shibuya Crossing, Tokyo's most iconic street. It's also a huge shopping district that can accommodate all those people. There are a lot of places that cater to young people, character shops like Pokemon Center and Nintendo Store, bars where you can just get loud and drink, plenty of department stores and malls for shopping. Shibuya is also one of the neighborhoods undergoing a major transformation in 21st century Tokyo. Shibuya Scramble Square, a new Tokyo landmark. Shibuya Sky is located at the top of the building. Miyashita Park is also on the cutting edge of Tokyo's redevelopment. This is Shibuya, and is one of the most memorable parts of your trip to Tokyo. Ueno is the transportation hub of Northeast Tokyo, but there are more in this area. There's Ueno Park, which is open to the public all year round, and Ueno Zoo, the oldest zoo in Japan, the National Museum of Nature and Science, the National Museum of Western Art, Tokyo National Museum, which focuses on history, the Tokyo Metropolitan Museum of Art, which covers all kinds of art. It's the premier museum district in Tokyo. That's not all. Down below the station, there are all shopping districts, including Ameyokocho. It's always bustling with people eating and drinking. Food isn't too expensive either. Ginza has been Tokyo's premier shopping center for over a century. It's lined with individual luxury shops and department stores. as well as expensive izakaya and bars. But it's not all about luxury shopping. Tsutaya, a trendy bookstore on the upper floors of Ginza 6. Itoya Stationery shows how far a stationery store can evolve. Even Muji is different from the flagship store in Ginza. You can't help but say, "This is Muji?" There's also a fun seafood market, Tsukiji. It's a great place to go in the morning before the malls open. The next tier will be Shinjuku, Roppongi, Tokyo Tower, and Asakusa. Not as much as the first tier, but still a lot to do and very Tokyo. Tokyo's busy transit station and downtown area. First of all, the cat billboard in front of the JR East entrance is famous. Above it is Kabukicho, which holds the title of Japan's best nightlife district. Next to Kabukicho is the Golden Guy, which has a great bar scene. Similarly, there is Omoide Yokocho, just northwest of JR Station. There's another great view of Shinjuku around here. You can find the Motomura Gyukatsu Nishi-Shinjuku store. Also, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Observatory is high up and it's free. You can save $20 for the observatory. Roppongi and Tokyo Tower area is the one of the high-rising areas in Tokyo's 21st century redevelopment boom. Roppongi Hills 20 years ago and Azabudai Hills today. They symbolize Tokyo's renaissance. It's must-see for anyone interested in urban planning. Tokyo Midtown is another symbol of Roppongi. There are as many large exhibition spaces as in Ueno, Mori Art Museum, National Art Center, 2121 Design Site, and more. This area is more modern and contemporary. Finally, Tokyo Tower has always been the face of Tokyo. It's more beautiful in real life than in pictures. This is the first neighborhood when I think of Old Tokyo. The landmarks are Sensoji Temple and Kaminarimon Gate at the entrance. The streets are lined with many different styles of alleyways and side streets. Nakamisedori is the main touristy shopping street. Hopidori is the main drinking street and many more. The headquarters building of Asahi Beer, just beyond the riverfront, offers a clear view of all of Asakusa. And beyond that, the Tokyo Skytree at Oshiage is easily accessible. Tier 3 includes Marunouchi, Harajuku, and Omotesando and Odaiba. And finally, Akihabara. As is typical of Tokyo, the content is as diverse as the city centers in each region, but it's more a side trip than a main part of the day. Tokyo Station and the business district west of it. First of all, Tokyo Station is a landmark in itself, so many people take pictures of it. The basement of the station is lined with ramen streets, character shops, and souvenir shops. The Imperial Palace, where the Japanese emperor lived, is in a forest of modern buildings. Shopping malls like Hite and Brick Square are also fun. A favorite area for young girls, Takeshita-dori of Harajuku used to be famous for its unique fashion, but it's shame that most of those girls are gone now. There are other cafes and restaurants on Cat Street, luxury goods and shopping malls on Omotesando Main Street, brunch and bakeries in Ura, Harajuku. There's plenty to do if you're into that sort of thing. And let's not forget the tree-filled Meiji Jingu Shrine, an artificial island created by reclaiming land in Tokyo Bay. Modern shopping malls are the main sites of this island. Diversity has character shops, including Doraemon, and there is a life-size animatronic Gundam. Aqua City is a so-so mall, but the view of the Tokyo skyline from here is a work of art. The moving Gundam and the night view make this place to be in the evening. Akihabara symbolizes Japan's otaku culture. The streets themselves are full of subcultures, so you can just go and enjoy it. Last but not least, the so-so neighborhoods. Not so grand, but unpretentious. It's a good representation of Tokyo's small neighborhoods. A great place to spend 1 or 2 hours exploring. An upscale neighborhood shopping district near Shibuya, represented by Tsutaya and T-Side. Start in Shibuya and come here, then head to nearby Nakameguro neighborhood. There is a famous Starbucks reserve. This is a typical rich best town in western Tokyo. A lot of people hang out in the big green space called Inokashira Park. Definitely an area with more locals than tourists. The shopping street to the north and south of Kichijoji Station are also interesting to explore. This is a shopping district centered on second-handed clothes. Even if you're not looking for boy clothes, but it's fun to see many well-dressed young people. Kagurazaka was once an upscale district that rivaled Ginza, but it is now a modest alleyway. However, its elegance hasn't faded, and there are many quiet shops here. You can eat Mont Blanc at a dessert cafe, or drink a nice coffee in a bookstore that smells like books, or a multi-course meal in a French restaurant. Yanesen is one of Tokyo's most heartfelt neighborhoods. It's just north of Ueno. Yanaka Ginza, with its impressive staircase, is the main shopping street here. There's also Neju Shrine, which attracts a lot of people, and there are plenty of great cafes throughout the neighborhood. Tokyo's public transportation is divided into subway, JR, and private railroads. The subway mostly goes underground in the center of Tokyo, and JR is an enhanced version of national railways in other countries. Normally, they connect intercity, but JR stations are dense even in Tokyo. Private railroads are usually taken outside of the core 23 wards. Each company's station are separated. This is important. Shinjuku is not a one gigantic station. It is a set of over 7 different stations. You can't ride subway at Odakyu Station. You can't ride JR at subway station. There are minor tips for Tokyo Railway. Number 1. For a beginner to Tokyo, the subway pass is useful. It's 24, 48, 72 hours for 2 subway companies, Tokyo Metro and Toei Subway. Tourists usually ride 4 or 5 times a day, so it is efficient. And almost all of Tokyo's destinations are accessible with this pass. It doesn't apply for JR, but you don't need to ride JR in this city trip. The second is transportation cards such as Suica and Pasmo. You can also use a card which you bought in Osaka. You can use it to get around outside of subway pass coverage, like Odaiba, Disneyland, Shimokitazawa. And if you ride subways only 2 or 3 times in a day, then you don't need to buy a pass, just tap your transportation card. The third thing is to buy a regional pass when traveling in the suburbs. Disneyland doesn't have a separated pass, but if you go to Enoshima and Kamakura, you can get the Odakyu Enoshima pass, the Odakyu Hakone pass for Hakone, Minato Mirai pass of Tokyo when going to Yokohama, like that. If you want to save money on hotel, then northeast of Tokyo, represented by Ueno, is a good choice. Ueno is one of the best transportation hubs. JR and subway lines of Kinja and Hibiya all overlap, so there's nowhere you can't get to from Ueno. If you want to save even more money, you can go up to Nippori and Nishi-Nippori, but you will miss the subway a bit more. There's also plenty of options in Asakusa neighborhood, which is famous for its sky tree views. Asakusa is not very accessible by JR, but if you have a subway pass, you can use the Ginza and Asakusa lines. And Asakusa Sensoji Temple, a good tourist spot, is right next door. It's a great place to hang out both during the day and night. And this is traditionally a commoner's neighborhood, so it's definitely cheaper than other neighborhoods. It's also very accessible to the airport, because Tokyo's airports are all on the east side of the city. From Ueno and Nippori, you can take the Keisei Skyliner to Narita. From Asakusa, you can take the Airport Express from the Asakusa line, so Narita and Haneda are both easily accessible. You are in your 20s and 30s and want a trendy and cool streets? Then the Shibuya neighborhood is the place to be. It's the most youthful of Tokyo's largest transit stations. Shibuya itself is bustling with young people. Omotesando, Harajuku are near too. Daikanyama and Chiyogaoka all have cute shops. It's also a great place to go out at night, because Shibuya is all about clubs. The downside is that the price of accommodation is higher than other places. There are a lot of capsule hotels and regular hotels, but compared to Ueno, it's definitely about 1.5 times more expensive. Shinjuku is more convenient if you travel a lot in the suburbs. Shinjuku is the gateway to western Tokyo, so transportation is definitely better. You can go to Hakone, Enoshima via Odakyu. You can take a bus or JR train to Kawaguchiko, which is where Mount Fuji is. Shimokitazawa, Kichijoji, all the neighborhoods are easy to get to. Since it is a transportation center, there are a lot of hotels, so it is a little cheaper than Shibuya. The first downside of staying in Shinjuku is that it's very crowded. This can be a big downside depending on the person. It's more crowded and crowded than Shibuya, so it can be a bit tiring in the morning and the evening. The second is that Shinjuku itself is not very attractive as a travel destination. Of course, there are some great places like Golden Gai and Omoide Yokocho, but compared to Ueno parks and museums and Shibuya's trendiness, Shinjuku is just a big station area. Well, there are plenty of hotels in Tokyo. Some people stay in Akihabara to focus on anime. People go to Roppongi and Marunouchi for luxury vacations, and those who go to the cheapest neighborhoods far away. But there's another area I recommend, and that is Akasaka. It's not that famous, but it is in a good location and not too expensive. There is no JR, but subways are enough to travel Tokyo. Ginza and Marunouchi lines will take you to most parts of the city. Just don't stay at Akasaka Station. Go to Akasaka Mitsuke Station. Tokyo's major transit stations are very complicated inside. You may hear of the labyrinth of Shinjuku. Tokyo Station, Shibuya, and Ikebukuro are just as challenging too. I have a little trick for finding your way around. If you're coming from the subway, get out from the underground. Even though Shinjuku is a big station, the subway system is relatively simple. It is easy to find your way around by just getting outside and looking at the buildings and signs. When you take JR through the large station, then you can memorize major exits before you get there. At Tokyo Station, the Marunouchi exit is to the west, and the Yaesu exit is to the east. If you want to go to Nihonbashi and Kyobashi, go to Yaesu. To get to the Imperial Palace or Classic Station building, head to Marunouchi exit. Shinjuku is simpler, just east, west, and south. For Shibuya, Hachiko Gate to the crossing and main area. Harajuku Omotesando by Hikarie Gate. Tokyo is incredibly large city. There are so many neighborhoods and so much content within it. You can finish the whole area in about 4 days in other cities. Mainly one downtown and suburb and that's it. But in Tokyo, that's impossible. You can't even see all the major sighting spots in 3 or 4 days. 1 or 2 weeks are not enough either. So it's natural to not see all of Tokyo in a journey. You have to let some places go. Know what you are interested and focus on them. My last tip is to walk short distances. The terrain of Tokyo isn't steep, with only a tiny up and down. And there are so many famous places close together, so easy to get around on foot. Also, there are many things that you can only experience by walking, because you don't feel it when you go underground by metro. I recommend walking between 2 or 3 stations. The good areas to walk are from Roppongi to Tokyo Tower and Shinbashi, the triangle of Shibuya, Omotesando, and Harajuku, and finally between Ginza and Marunouchi. You will understand why I give you this tip once you walk there. So let's summarize what we learned today. 5 essential tips for traveling in Tokyo.
Yes, this is it. Now I know you're less worried about your travel to Tokyo. I just hope you good memories in here. This place where I end this video is Ginza, the commercial heart of Tokyo. Thank you for watching this long video and thank you again.